Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host, Jennifer. Today we're going to show a little bit of Happy Mail that I've got, but I also have yarn because it's Friday and we know Friday means yarn porn. Okay, so it's not a big haul. It's not anything like super spectacular. It's probably all yarn you have seen before on this podcast. It is from Premier Yarns. I had to order an extra skein of yarn because I'll explain that in a minute. But we're going to go through the Happy Mail portion first, and then I will show you the yarn that I got first. I got a package from Tracy. Tracy is in California, and she quite frequently sends me books and goodies that she finds along her travels to like thrift stores and such. And so she sent this, and I believe there was a note with this, and I'm not seeing what I did with the note. I don't know what I did with the note. I believe she said, oh, the note is on the envelope. It says, I couldn't resist knitting the perfect pair. It's a knitting sock book. Yeah. It's got some, wow. Okay, I will not be making these socks anytime ever. Can you guys see that? There's a toe to these socks. You see that? Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. But yeah, very cool. Very cool. I appreciate the book, Tracy. And I appreciate you thinking of me when you're on your travels and you're doing your thrift shopping thing. I have not made a sock in a while. I cast it on a sock. Whew, it's been weeks and weeks now, and the yarn was like super stretchy and springy, and I was having a hard time. It wasn't difficult to work with, but I just didn't like working with it, and so I put it in a project bag, and I have not touched it since. And I don't know if I'm going to ever finish those socks. They're really cute. The yarn is really pretty, but I just don't know if I am going to ever finish those socks. This is a business card to a place we stopped at in Culpepper, and I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys previously. Mr. Cinnamon and I, story time, we were taking my niece, Pumpkin Spice. Wow, all these spice names you guys have nicknamed my family members, like... And I just uploaded Baby Paprika's video, and you guys were nicknaming the babies like Nutmeg and like all kinds of silly names. And so I have all these spice names running through my head. So my niece, Pumpkin Spice, which you guys have also named her that. Well, she kind of named herself that as well. We took her back to college. She's been here a lot lately. She's dealing with some stuff she should not be having to deal with right now. So we took her back, drove her back over the mountain, and dropped her off, and we came home, and we knew that it was going to be kind of late in the day, and so, and this was like 2 weeks ago, I think. We stopped in Culpeper, which is, I've taken you guys to Culpeper in the past, and maybe I will pop up some pictures here. By the way, I will talk about that in a second. I will pop up some pictures here that I took of this specific day in Culpeper. We went to, and you know what's going to happen is I'm going to finish telling the story and I'm going to forget to tell you guys about that. We stopped in Culpeper and we were going to order some Indian food. Indian food is one of the foods that is almost guaranteed to be gluten safe for me to eat. And we've eaten at this restaurant one time before and their food is really good. And they have, oh, I cannot think of the name of them. They're little fried balls made with graham flour. Oh, well, the name is, and I eat them all the time. We always get them because graham flour is gluten-free. They're vegetables, pakora. Okay, we order those because they are gluten-free. And there, a lot of Indian restaurants will also say gluten-free, which I really appreciate because, again, I have to be careful even at Mexican restaurants because most people don't know bouillon is used for Mexican rice, and bouillon, most bouillons have wheat. So, gotta be careful at Mexican restaurants. I learned that the hard way. So we stopped to get some delicious food because the pakora it almost tastes like egg rolls from Michigan, which Michigan Chinese food is very different than everywhere else in the world. They have unique things that are specifically Michigan. If you live in Michigan, you know what I'm talking about. The egg rolls are delicious in Michigan. They are bean sprouts instead of cabbage. So the pakora at this specific restaurant has cabbage in it, but it has the taste of an egg roll, and I can't have egg rolls because they're gluten. And I miss egg rolls so much. And so we stopped at this Indian restaurant, which I don't even remember the name of it. It's a really long name. Or an unusual name. It is a very Nepali name because it's Indian Nepali food. I know, long story longer. Ramble, ramble, ramble. This is what it's like inside my brain. My brain goes doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. We stopped, and we stopped at like 4:30, and the place didn't open till 5. So we hung around downtown Culpepper, which is also where Knitwit is, which is my favorite LYS store. I will try to remember to link her below as well. And while we were there, I saw a sign across the street from the Indian restaurant, and it was for Bee De Loca. Here is her contact information. Now we stopped in there. Really nice gentleman behind the counter. And he was talking about the owner and how she has her own beehive and she has her own honey. And they had lots of other like bee related products like jewelry and little knickknacks and bric-a-brac and like coasters, you know, that kind of stuff. And he said she has her own hive, and the yellow labeled honey with the yellow cap was her honey, and it was really, really good. So like, of course he's gonna say that he's working for her, like obviously. So I was like, well, I love supporting small business like that. And then I heard him tell another customer that the beehive was upstairs. I'll pop that picture up here too. There should be just pictures popping up here. I bought a couple of their honeys. I bought 2 local honeys because allergies, and I've read a lot and you guys have talked a lot about to help my allergies I should buy local honey. There was 2 local honeys that I picked. One was from Haymarket, Virginia. One second. Where was I? I have no idea what I'm saying. Mr. Cinnamon just called. Honey. Okay, so anyway, I got 2 of the honeys. One was from Haymarket, Virginia. I think that's what I was saying last. And it was, because honey, there's different kinds of honey. I'm sure that you all know this. There's honey for different seasons, and during different seasons there's different flowers that are blooming. And this Haymarket honey particularly was cranberry flower honey. It is so good. And that was not from Bee De Loca. But then I got one of her in-house honeys, and it was just honey. It was wildflower honey, or actually it's probably city honey because the hive is in the middle of this little town area. But there is a florist shop like across the street, so like maybe her bees are like pollinating the flowers across the street. Anyway, I got the honey home and we did like a little honey taste test. Her honey is like so flavorful, so delicious. And actually I went through the jars because I like darker honey. I think darker honey a lot of times has more flavor. So I was like looking, I got the darkest honey that was on the shelf. So much flavor, so delicious. So yeah, and we got our Indian food and we brought it back home, which is like an hour drive. So then we had to reheat it, but it was so worth it. It was so worth it. Anyway, on to the next. I got some postcards. This one is from Debbie. Debbie sent me some delicious tea on a postcard. Just let me know how they're doing. I'm really, really happy for the apartment and all that stuff. Glad you guys are moving forward and that things seem to be on the upswing for you. This is, look, it's a turtle. I love turtles so much. I have been known, if you guys have been around long enough, you know this. I've been known to stop and get turtles out of the road so they don't get hit. I actually picked up a giant snapping turtle that was about 45 pounds at one point and helped it cross the road even though it was swinging, and Mr. Cinnamon was scared for me. I was like, I'm getting it out of the road. It would have been the place that I moved it from, it would have been toast. It was on a blind curve, and those curves, like in this area, they're all like backcountry roads. And the area where this giant turtle was crossing, I mean, he was huge. And I know enough about turtles. I actually used to have a turtle when I was a teenager. And my dad brought home a snapping turtle when I was really young. So I've been around turtles. I know where to touch and where not to touch. If you grab a turtle right in front of his back legs, it really can't hurt you. It might be able to scratch you with his back claws, but that didn't occur. It was heavy though, and he was swinging his head trying to bite me. But I knew not to go near his head. Anyway, turtle. And this is from Trisha, the knitting lady. And this postcard comes from Orlando. I love getting postcards so much. You guys make me so happy. This is from Mary Beth. This is from Acadia National Park in Maine. Maine is one of the few states that I have not been to. I have not been to Maine, Oregon, or Washington. And I have not been to New Hampshire, Connecticut, Vermont, or Massachusetts, or Rhode Island. Those are the states that I have not been to yet. But trust me, Acadia National Park is on my bucket list. So this is from Mary Beth. She wanted to share her national park with me. I appreciate it. We had plans to go up to Maine and go to Acadia National Park. And things fell through. This was some time ago. And we ended up going to California instead. But that's alright. Here's another one. This is from Nance. And this is from Maine. She enjoys my YouTube. This is one of her favorite places to visit. Hello from the Maine coast. I want to go to Maine and get a fresh lobster. And I want to go to Acadia National Park. And I want to watch the sun rise because I believe it's either Acadia, I think it's Acadia, is the first place that the sun hits on the continental United States, the United States period, when the sun rises every morning. Maine is the first place that it hits. So, yeah. I also want to see moose. Moose are another one of those buffalo things. Like, I had to see a buffalo. My next bucket list thing is to see a moose in the wild. And this is too from Nance. So, thank you for that. And then I got this, and I don't have the envelope with me, so I have to open the book. This is from Melissa. Melissa sent, see, I gotta go behind the camera. Oh, extreme close-up. She sent a package. This is for Little Man and Mr. Cinnamon, and they have plans to build this together today. Little Man got into a little bit of issues at school, and so we told him if he was good and when he was good and came home from school and didn't have any issues, that he and his dad, this would be his reward. So he's very looking forward to that. So, and then there was the book in there for me and Juju because we are both gluten intolerant. And this is a cookbook that is gluten-free when it matters, dairy-free if you need, and vegan if you like. So, there are, and Juju already went through and came up with some things that she wants to make for us. That is bittersweet chocolate buns. She went through and she was like, oh, and there's thumbprint cookies in here, which I told you guys I wanted to make a gluten-free thumbprint recipe for Christmas because that is my mom's tradition. Like, my mom had a recipe. And so I learned enough from this recipe that I'm going to actually be able to alter my mom's recipe and make thumbprints for Christmas, which really, really, Melissa, that means so much to me that I'm going to be able to do that. Not just for me and my kids, you know, and Mr. Cinnamon, although they're really me and the kids' favorite. Like, that's something I do and pass out to the neighbors as well. I'm looking for the recipe. I thought it was right here of the thumbprint cookies to show you. These ones are coconut, but my mom rolls hers in nuts. So, yeah. Definitely super happy and excited about that. Definitely excited. I also am going to make some blueberry muffins. I think this week. I just bought the pre-made pouch gluten-free blueberry muffins that I found at Walmart. But I do like making stuff from scratch so much. And then this package came from Amanda in Florida. And there's a funny story that goes behind this, okay? I got notification because Amanda sent this express mail. Okay, so it was supposed to be here within 2 days. I didn't know it was coming. I didn't know who it was from. I just got notification in my app that I had something ready to be picked up at the post office. And it had a weird tracking number, which had an E in it and a US in it. So I was like, is it international? Because sometimes that'll happen with international. So I go get in line at the post office. And this is like the first time ever that there's no one at the post office. There was like barely anybody in the whole building. So I go up to the counter and I was like, I showed her my phone. I was like, this says there's a package ready for me to pick up. And I give her my P.O. Box number. I'm like, 8193. She's all right, I'll be right back. And she brings me Tracy's package. And so I go out to the car and start to open it. I was like, that's weird. The package said it was coming from Florida. And then I looked at the tracking number. I was like, that's not the package. So I go back in and I tell her, I was like, there's a package that's supposed to be back there from Florida. So she looks and she comes back. She's all, I don't see anything back there. I'm going to look one more place. I'm like, all right. So she goes and she looks one more place. She was gone a while. And she comes back. She's all, what's the tracking number? And I already showed her my phone to show her the tracking number. She didn't write it down or even look at it. So she looks at it and goes, all right, I'll go somewhere else and I'll look again. She looks, she comes back. She's all, I'm going to write the tracking number down this time. So she writes the tracking number down. This time she was gone like 15 minutes. And I could see her walk all the way to the back of the warehouse. Because our post office is very big. She walked all the way to the back. Behind like where the truck docks are. And I'm watching her. She disappeared. She was gone forever, it felt like. She comes back. And she came back from a different direction. And she's all... walked all the way to the back. And I asked, because that's where the express packages are, because usually express packages are immediately put on the truck to get delivered. And there's a special room in the back for that. And because it was going to a post office box, it was in the back. It was supposed to be in the front where the post office boxes are. She went all the way back there and they're like, oh yeah, we saw that. And they're looking for it. And someone had just grabbed it and moved it to the front room where she'd already looked. So she had to come all the way back. By the time she got done running around trying to find this box, she was out of breath and probably a little irritated with me, but that's all right. So there's tissue paper in here. Ooh. Sensory. I have a thing with popsicle sticks in particular. And I just rubbed the cardboard the wrong way and my fingers are dry and it was the same sensation I get with popsicle sticks. Try not to do that again. I'm going to take this out because I know that there's a card in here. The letter is all the way at the bottom of the box. All right. All right, so okay, I know what that is. I opened it like a week ago, and I've been waiting to have time to film. So I forgot what was in here. So she sent me a note, a very long note. And, okay, I had to remind myself what is in this email, or this message. Amanda related to a story that I have told very recently. Can you hang on a second? In a minute, okay? What? Amanda related to a story that I have told recently. She's going through some things that I have been through, and I'm not going to tell her business. Hang on one second. And in telling my story on here, the very small details that I have given. It helped her to feel like she had someone out there that understood. And so these kind of notes are the exact reason why I tell my story. They're the reason that I tell you guys details about traumas or life events that were hard and that I made it through, because we all have things that affect us, that traumatize us, that are hard to deal with. And if I can just in a small way let you know that, hey, I understand, that you're not alone, that there are a lot of people out here that are going through the same thing you're going through, and that it is going to be okay. That is such a huge blessing to me to be able to do that, because it gives a purpose to what I've been through. It gives a reason behind why I've been through it, because I have the ability to reach out through YouTube and give that message to you guys. So with that, let me show you what she sent me. I am so in love with this doll. I am so in love with this doll. She's a pumpkin head doll, okay? She has a little bat purse. I love her so much. She has swingable legs and cute little boots on. She's just the cutest thing I've ever seen, okay? I love her, and I'm going to treasure her for the rest of my life. She also included, so that I have options, that's her little hair. She has a stem that I can sew on if I so please, and she can just be a pumpkin forever. But there's also a little witch hat that I just think is so cute. So I think she's gonna have the witch hat, and I might just cock it to the side and pin it on for her. Oh my god, I am so in love with her. So thank you so much. I am going to treasure her. She is going to go on my mantle in my living room where all my favorite things are. She's just the cutest. Her little hat. I am always amazed by amigurumi people, okay? They are just, especially, I mean, look how tight those stitches are. She's so well made. I can't do stuff like this. Like, I try, it never turns out this beautiful. I love her so much. I just love her so much. She's the cutest thing I've ever seen. So thank you for that. But that's not all that was in the box. I'm going to put her up there. I love her so much. There was also a little purple bag with some stitch markers in here. Well, I say a stitch marker. Not a stitch marker. I'm used to. The chain is all tangled up, but Mr. Cinnamon has these giant fingers that are very nimble, and he's very good at untangling. So I'm going to let him untangle this chain. She sent me this. And I am going to absolutely wear that for little man. So thank you, because that, like I said, he's had a rough week this week. He has been having a serious hard time at school, and we're trying to get some things figured out, and I don't want to talk about it because I will cry. So she also sent me this yarn. She said that she remembered that I had used this yarn and I really, really liked it, and she had some. And it is from the company that shall not be named. But it's really soft and squishy and beautiful yarn. And thank you so much, because it is really, really soft. And at one time I used this and I wanted to get more, but I could not get more because it was not available. So I am going, this is such a nice yarn. I am going to put it on my shelf. And then last but not least, she sent me the ocean. She sent me the Florida Ocean, and it still feels kind of salty from the ocean. It's a beautiful seashell. And the little man got so excited, he goes, "Can you hear the ocean in it?" And I said, "Yep, you can hear the ocean." And we were in the car, and so there was a lot of, you know, ocean sounds reflecting out of it, and he put it in, up to his ear, and he got so excited because he could hear the ocean. So he got a kick out of that too. Okay, so now we're gonna get on to yarn porn. Premier Yarns, that beautiful red tape. This is just, oh, I know, before I forget, in case you are new here, in case you have not seen this yet, this is a new tutorial on our channel. This is the Dahlia crop top. It is on Brunhilde, and the reason it looks like it fits her a little better is I took the sides and I tucked it around her back. She has been reclothed because she is wrought iron. She is very, very old and very well used. So some of her material around the original body of her was tore up. So I recovered her, and in covering her, there's a flap of fabric that goes up her back that is attached, but it's like a pocket. So when I put things on her that are meant for my body size, I take the material and I wrap it around, I tuck it in the pocket. It holds it, which is why a lot of you guys get confused when you see something on her and you're like, how is that being held on like that? Because I tuck it in the pocket if there's excess material. So, little sneak that is made with the Premier Yarns Bloom Chunky Big Ball from Walmart. It is beautiful. It is so comfortable. I wore it all over town. And actually the pictures, the thumbnail picture that I took for the headline of the video, Juju took of me in the battlefield. So, one of my favorite places. Very, very easy tutorial. I released the video at 8 a.m. and by 6 o'clock someone had already finished it and posted it, which I was amazed by. But it doesn't take very long to make it a whole shirt because it's a bulky yarn. I think it probably only took me 8 hours to finish, start from finish, and that's start to finish. It was done in 8 hours. All right, let's see. Usually with Premier, they shove my yarn in a small bag. This is a big bag, so I'm just surprised by that. Maybe they're finally starting to catch on. That they shouldn't be squeezing yarn into little tiny packaging. By the way, this is going to surprise some of you. I know it's really loud. I ordered from Lion Brand, and hopefully that comes for next week's videos, and then I can show you that. It says it was mailed out, but it hasn't made it very far. So hopefully we'll have, and honestly it'll be my first ever Lion Brand haul on this channel. I can almost guarantee that. If there was another Lion Brand haul, there's only been one, and I'm not sure there was ever a Lion Brand haul video. Alright, so this was on clearance, and I don't remember how much I paid for this. It says $2.49 a ball, but I think honestly it was like $6 a bag. And this is just Premier Everyday Anti-Pilling, and it's like grays and blacks. It's the color newsprint, I believe. Black tone. But I just got this because it was clearanced out, and because I don't have barely any blacks or grays in my stash. And this is good for like Christmas gifts for dudes. This is kind of weird. It's like black on one side of the yarn and gray on the other. That's gonna work up kind of weird. I can't wait to see how that goes. Alright, so I got 3 of those. And then this is entirely my sister's fault. Because, as you know, when I was ordering baby yarn, I was convinced it was a boy. I was absolutely convinced it was a boy. So I ordered blue yarn. Not to say that I can't make baby stuff in blue for her, which I absolutely can and probably will. I was getting a weird thing on top of my camera screen, but I had to go back and order the pink. This is very, very light pink, as you can see, but I really like the Chow Baby, and I have some pink variegated to go along with this, but I wanted a pink just in case, because I honestly have no plans on what I'm making her. except her blanket right now. Now, I ordered some of the butterfly yarn, but before I get into that, I know stuff is all around me. Before I get into this, I showed this in the gender announcement, the sex announcement of the baby with my sister. I am knitting a baby blanket. And it's just garter stitch. This is the colorway. And the way that this yarn works up, and I've showed this in the past, is there's a big section of 2/3 of it is solid, and then the other third is supposed to be 5 colors. 5 colored stripes. Well, when I started working on this, do you see? Let me see if I can do this without losing anything. See how this is a darker color right here? This ball was messed up. See how there's that darker purple in the middle and then this other purple and then it goes into the pinks? This darker purple was non-existent in this ball. The extent of the darker purple went up 1/3 of my cast on row. That is all that dark purple that was in this entire cake. So now that I have this other one and it actually has the dark purple, because it's going to go, the blanket is going to go this way. It's going to have the stripes and then that solid color all the way in the center and then the stripes on the other side of it. That has that darker purple and this one doesn't. So it's going to totally not be symmetrical and it's going to drive me nuts. So what I'm going to have to do is cut out that darker purple and not use it. Which is a total bummer and I'm totally disappointed in that. But that's why I had to buy that, because I needed 2 balls for this and I only bought 1 originally. So I'm just going to throw that straight in there. That's a project. And last but not least, I have this colorway, which is the color Dockside, which is these beautiful striping colors. And the center of the ball is yellow, and that is what the colorway should work up like. So that is it for my yarn haul. That's all I got until next week when my Lion Brand yarn comes in. And my camera is overheating, so I have to let you go because we've been talking for a while. Mr. Cinnamon's going to be home soon. I got to start dinner and all that stuff. But I really hope you enjoy your Friday, and thank you for joining me, and thank you for all of the happy mail and the goodies and the stuff that you send me. That just, your gifts to me mean so much to me, because I know that these are from your heart, and I know you guys like really are paying attention and listening to what I'm talking about. And I know from these gifts and these cards that you guys are caring about me. These are just all I love yous from you guys to me, and I love you guys right back. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for just always being here. On my toughest days, you guys always bring me up, and I can never thank you enough for that. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Bye, guys. Oh, and happy Halloween!